He's running for state representative as an independent. We'll ask him why he chose to run as an independent. We'll ask him about some of the top issues that are facing his district, which includes West Boylston, part of West Boylston, and Worcester. News and Talk Radio, WCRN. WCRN News Time is 8:52 on this Monday morning. Thank you for joining us. Hank and Sherman with you. Your questions always at 508-438-0965. Phone lines always open. And we're very pleased that incumbent candidate Winthrop Handy joins us now, 14th Worcester District, and is running for state representative. Winthrop, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Hank. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I wanted to ask you, just first of all, and then we'll get into jobs and the other things that are so important to the people of the district, and again, part of Worcester, part of West Boylston as well. Why run as an independent? You do have a Democrat who is the incumbent in Jim O'Day, yet you do have a Republican challenger as well. Why did you decide to run as an independent?
Well, if you look at Worcester County, 56% of all registered voters are independent or undeclared. Only 26% are Democrat. Only 16% are declared Republicans. So our country really was started by independents. I still have that spirit, and that's what's driving me to have a voice and to get elected in this campaign. I'm going to need all those unenrolled and independent people to realize that I've got a clear view of the future for Worcester. I'm a candidate that's a leader. My two opponents they're pretty much managers, but Worcester needs some leadership right now.
Now, what do you mean by that? The incumbent is just a manager, that he's not a leader?
Well, I think the Worcester has rolled along with the status quo attitude for too long. Just this morning, I watched the space shuttle being hauled into someplace in California. Now, rocketry, everything began in Worcester. It actually began in Auburn with Dr. Goddard. The space, the flight yesterday with the Felix,
Baumgartner. Yeah,
right. He was wearing a spacesuit made by David Clark Company in Worcester. All the astronauts have had those suits from Worcester. The tiles on the bottoms of the shuttles, they were made at Norton Company. With someone with leadership, you'd recognize that shuttle or one of those shuttles should have come to Worcester as a tourist attraction. We've thought of ourselves as a second-rate city for too long. We've got to see ourselves for all the creative people that are here. We've got to support Mr. Wallace for the Worcester Historical Museum. There's a phenomenal story to be told here of the men and women that have put Worcester on the map, but we neglect in telling that story. We're the heart of the Commonwealth. It's so easy to get into Worcester. You look at all the roads that lead here. I want to publicize that. I want to lead with that. I want to make changes that will reflect the terrific city we are. We're the second largest city in Massachusetts. We've had people move out of here because the opportunity is not here, but we've got to retain the college students that we have here, the vocational students, the high school students. We've got to make sure everybody they're taking courses that are relevant, that they can get jobs with. So that's why I'm running.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about those opportunities and the courses so you can get jobs. Jobs, obviously, in this election, whether it's nationally or whether it's in the 14th district, and we're speaking with Winthrop Handy, who's running for state representative in the 14th district as an independent. It's all about jobs this time around. That seems very, very clear. What would you do specifically to bring some jobs to the Commonwealth? And is there something that isn't being done by your opponents that you would do differently?
Well, the one thing that in the past I've attended the WPI Venture Forum. They've got a format there where you can come in, you can make an elevator speech and look for you can try to get some money. There are venture capitalists that will come to that. They'll critique your ideas. They'll tell you you're all wet, up front. And this is a wonderful program. We've got to expand it to the Worcester College Consortium, and then we've got to take into consideration the people that are in the vocational schools, the work that they're doing there, the trades that they're learning, and the high schools also. We've got to make sure that everybody has a chance to be in this forum. I look at the old empty courthouse. I want to see that used for space for startups, give people a chance. I want to see artists, designers, engineers, accountants. It just goes on and on. Everybody needs a start. You need a little venture capital money to get going. The other night, I used the example of Howard Freeman. Now, he was at WPI. He was a student in the fire college there for fire safety. He went on to develop a nozzle that was used, it's still used today, to fight fires. He's saved thousands of lives with that all over the world. He was then at a company called Rockwood Sprinkler. It's out towards 495. From there, he went on his own, and he has developed a company. He opened a company called Jamesbury. He named it after the street he lived on. He's a very humble person, but all of our aircraft carriers, all of our nuclear submarines, they're using the valves that this company developed from Worcester. He gets emails now from admirals and things just thanking him. I'm walking through the ship, Howard. I'm looking at your valves, what you've created. So,
because we just have about 90 seconds, I want to at least grab another very important topic here for many people, and that is the housing crisis. Boy, I mean, it's certainly hit Worcester hard. I hope that we're coming out of it, or that we may have bottomed out finally. But, these foreclosures, you only have to drive through certain sections of Worcester to see that it's still an issue.
It's an issue. It struck me personally. My wife and I, we've been small business owners for 36 years. The last 4 years have been most difficult for us. My heart is with all small business people. The money that was supposed to go for us, that troubled asset, that TARP money, it went to teachers, firemen, and it went to police. And it was a one-time thing. It's not sustainable. We need to have a realization in Massachusetts, which is a very difficult climate for small business, that people, they need a break. You've got to let them grow something here. It's like Steve Jobs in Cupertino, California. They started in a garage with Steve Wozniak. There are people like that here.
Winthrop, I've got to stop you right there just because we're out of time and we're coming up against news, and I want you to be able to tell people how they can get a hold of you, get involved in your campaign in these crucial last days.
Thanks, Hank.
What's the website, or how can they best
get
it?
The website is, if they go right on winthrophandy.com, we're putting up new information there every day. We've got a lot of ideas that we want to share with people. Again, it's winthrophandy.com.
Terrific.
Thanks very much for having me, Hank.
Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. I'm right up against news. Winthrop Handy, very pleased that he was able to be with us. News and Talk Radio, WCRN, Worcester, Boston.